All right, we're back at it again. So, welcome back, guys, to Unemployed to Full Time Trader. I think it's part number 12 or something. Um, Basically, what I'm looking at here is I'm looking. Well, I was looking for sales because we just took these highs. Hang on. Sorry about that. My dog was just barking there. Okay. I was gonna look for sales over these highs, but it looks like we just came. We basically took these highs to then come down and possibly take London lows. So as soon as we take these London lows, I'll start looking for buys to the upside. Um, yeah. So the only ways I would look for buys if we took these London lows. As of now, I'm still looking for sales. I mean, pretty unrealistic though because it's a short range there. Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna look for buys yet. Not yet, at least. I need price to come down and take these lows. This is the London lows right there. Come here, boy. What are you barking at, huh? Okay, we're about to take those London lows there. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward today. This is ideally what I wanted to happen. It kind of sucks that we took this high. It sucks a little bit, but I mean, if we take Asian lows, even better too. We take Asian lows and then we create a small gap there. That'd be. Oh, never mind. Candles are going crazy. Yeah, no. Need 5 minutes coming in here very soon. Bro, honestly, because I mean, from here to here, how many? Like, how much? What do we have here? There is a super small gap here. I don't know if I would take that into consideration. I don't necessarily want to go in yet. The reason is because this is a new 5 minute. And we're just kind of blowing up, actually. Like, I'm kind of a bit scared that maybe I'll go in. Let's see how this next candle reacts. Okay, I'll enter off of this. I'm expecting a bit of a drive now to the upside. See, I'm trying to set up my TPs. I don't know where I want to take profits at. Basically, let me check. Yeah, I have my take profits up here. I believe so. Yes. Yep. Okay, that's where I got my take profits there. Bad thing is that I got it a little bit later, so I actually got in like right here. You see this next 1 minute candle is pretty good, pretty important for us. See how it closes. Good news is we do have a gap here, kind of protecting us a bit. Hopefully this candle closes engulfing this one. Okay, this is a new 5 minute. I may move my stops, to be honest, to break even. Okay, hit my take profit there. There's news at 10, so I kind of want to stay and just play it pretty safe here. Yeah, I made a 1%, made 1% there. So the reason why I got in on that is we inverse this really small gap. I was debating it because it's a super small gap. I don't know if price was gonna actually respect that. I went in with pretty low risk. I also like kind of tight stops as well, because usually I would put my stops down here. So I was like, you know what, let's just put them here. And in this case, it worked out because it was we inverse this little gap here. I was thinking of going in like as soon as we had this engulfing candle off of the London lows, so I was expecting a bit of a drive from there. I didn't, just because it was a new 5-minute that came out, so it was this new 5-minute, and there was no bottom wick. Usually price makes a bottom and a top wick, right? In this case, it completely didn't. It just ignored it. So yeah, we did take liquidity up there. I could potentially look for entries if we inverse. I guess I'll have to leave this here. If we inverse this gap here, because we basically retook these highs here, and we took this liquidity on the 5-minute here. So what I'm looking at is that this right here, this big gap. I could potentially enter off of that, off of the inverse of that gap, and then just take my profits at the Asian lows, potentially. I think at this point I would probably want to wait until 10 a.m. Yeah, this is a nice candle right here. This big candle to the upside. Yeah, it was a like, 1 2 3, which is not crazy, right? But I knew by the way that this engulfing candle, and we took the London lows, I knew like price was wanted to come back up and hunt these levels up here. So I wanted to take advantage of that. I want to take advantage of that, and then also as we were going up, we created this gap here. So like our stops on here made a little bit of sense because there's a gap here. So worst case scenario, price would have come back down. You expect this gap to play in your favor to defend this stop loss down here. So that's good. That was a good trade. Now I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting until 10 a.m. We just grabbed these highs. I'm expecting price to come back down. Let's see if 10 a.m. candle could do some magic here. Yeah, look how many highs we just swept, right? Like if you look at this, we swept these highs, we swept these highs, we're now sweeping these highs, and we're about to sweep these highs up here as well. And we also, in the beginning, we swept out London highs, but that was because we took all this liquidity, right? We took liquidity down here. Now that we took that liquidity, we came up here, we took liquidity up here. Now what is price expected to do? To come back down and take liquidity, somewhere around these levels. I would assume price wants to come back down to Asian lows, but I don't know. Yeah, but this is like textbook liquidity grab. All of these blue lines are liquidity grabs. Red lines as well. Red lines are, obviously there's the London highs, London lows. There's the Asian highs. We take that liquidity. That's another thing why we were expecting price to come down to the London lows, because we took Asian highs. Since we took Asian highs, prices like to come down and take London lows to then come back up. But in this case, actually did both. They took the highs first and then came back down, took the lows, and then it flipped, right? I think this is a new 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That seems so risky though. Like I'd rather wait for this. Yeah, I went fairly low risk on that first one. Let's see what happens here, guys. Let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, let's say in the next couple minutes price closes below here. I don't think I'm gonna get in. What I could do though is potentially enter off of this gap here. Honestly, we could, let's just take out some of these lines here. Okay, but it looks like price is just going in off of that. The only way I would get in now is if this candle closes bullish and then the next 1 minute candle just literally drives all the way down, engulfing this candle, which it looks like it's not gonna close bullish. So okay, it looks like we're actually gonna inverse it. It's 950 though. I mean, it's like, oh, maybe not. Let's see on the 5. What does that look like? It's actually on the 5. We're kind of making a bit of a gap here. So usually when price has a reaction off of the FEG and then it comes back down to that same FEG, usually like, it doesn't happen every single time, but more often than not, it typically inverses that gap because the reaction already happened. What would be scary though is if it reacts again, then you like it is now, basically you probably don't want to get in on the inverse off of this. You want to get in off of another inverse because this is no longer valid. Because like what you could expect now for price to do is, like, even if it inverses, there's still a pretty good chance that it comes back up, because this FEG was already it's not as valid. Like I noticed, like when price, for example, if price would have just done this without having this reaction, I would have been like, okay, this is a valid entry. But if price decides to consolidate or like just kind of react within this gap, and then randomly, I don't know where price decides to inverse it, this gap is no longer, it's not as valid as if it were to just, have a big push to the downside. Because the idea is, like, you're trying to catch the reversal, right, of a like a liquidity grab. So yeah, now we don't really care about that gap. Now we have this gap here. this is a new 5, so this could just drive it up. I'm just gonna wait until 10 a.m. see what happens. I want to say, like, if we grab these highs, I'm probably just gonna call it a day. I'm not looking for buys, I'm looking for sells to the downside. We're about to inverse this gap. What happened, doggy? What are you doing, huh? Yeah, there's really not much for me to do right now, aside from waiting until 10 a.m. Hang on, I'll be back. I'll be right back. Okay. Honestly, if we could stay above here and, like, let's say news come in and it just, we see a nice closure below here, could potentially get in off of that. I mean, stops would have to be above here because it's not even horrible stops. That's pretty good. I'll go in like pretty low risk again, and then if the trade does play out my way, I'll start like scaling in some positions, some other positions, you know. It's good because this is a new 5, so 5 minutes left, and then we kind of decide what we do here. I usually don't do this when I should call it a day, but I have a pretty good feeling that after we just grab all this liquidity, price wants to come back down to grab Asia lows. But I'm not gonna grab my take profits on there. I'm probably just gonna grab them here, or maybe even here, honestly. Just do like another short trade or something. I might take my profits here, like in the middle of this gap. Depending on how it reacts up for this gap, I'll probably either take my profits here or again in between there. Yeah, if we could even grab this one, that would be even better. Grab this liquidity up here prior to news open. Hopefully though, hopefully the news candle can just bring it down. Or like make a top break and then bring it down. Oh my god. Just a couple more minutes here. There's 1 minute here. This one is here, so it might come up to here. It did just grab a 1 minute liquidity here. Or did that happen prior? Okay, that happened prior. Okay, so we just grabbed that level. I'm using pretty much 2 minutes here. One more minute left though. Again, same idea. If yeah, I'm still looking for the same trade, right? Like if price just comes down and breaks below these, breaks below this gap, I'm taking that trade all day, every day. I mean, what I would like this next candle to do is like make like a little top wick and then just come back down. That's the ideal situation. But for all I know, bro, this news might not even move the market that much. You know, it's PMI. I can't remember if PMI is usually like, you know, if PMI is usually like high volume. Not sure. Okay, so here they come. Okay, so it made the top wick. Let's see if the next candle can give me something nice. Okay. Looks like we may make a gap here. That's what it looks like so far. Yeah, now stops are pretty freaking big, which sucks. Yes, 30. Yeah, so if this candle does it, like if this candle breaks these lows and then inverses this gap and closes engulfing, I'll get in. I doubt that that's gonna happen, but let's see. Okay. Bro, even better if we could actually break structure here. Okay, I'm getting in now. Okay, I'm putting myself above that high. Went low risk again on this. I got in here and then this is the entry. Okay. So that's good. That's we inverse this gap here and we're now making one gap here, which is good. It's protection for us. Man, if we inverse this, I may add another position on top of this. And again, I'm looking at TPs down here. Looking at TPs down there, but honestly, may close it here depending on how it reacts off of that. $20 seconds. Maybe this candle can inverse this gap. Maybe. The issue is like me getting in down here. If I put my stops all the way up to here, it's 70 ticks. That's quite a bit. So probably just made a little gap here as well. So this is good. This is pretty good stuff here. Made a gap there, then we also made another gap here. I'm gonna go to 5 real quick. Okay. Okay, this is pretty much what we wanted. Which inverses gaps. That's really good. We got really good entries, really safe entries up here. I haven't added another position yet. there is this other gap here, which again, this one's not that important. Like a price is expected to inverse this one, but doesn't mean much, you know. There's a small 5 here though. Boom, boom. There's a 5 minute right here. Let me mark that. There hasn't been any like real entries for me. I mean, I could have gone in here. I could have gone in here for sure. Maybe put my stop like here, but to me these stops don't make sense. Like they would have to be up here, and like that's way too much for me to risk. So yeah, if it just drives, honestly, I'm happy with it. It's gonna make me another % or so. Yeah, I think I just leave this as it is. I don't scale in anything, because if I scale in a position right now, even if we break below here, like I don't know where to put my stop loss, and I don't want to be in that situation. I just rather like let this play out and then just move on to the next day, you know. But let's see if price like maybe comes up to this gap and reacts off of it, then I'll look to enter. If we could straight up inverse this one, that would be better than us coming up here. Okay, so now I could potentially add another entry here. Okay, perfect. So we touched that. If this candle flips and breaks below here, I will get in on that, and then I'll put my stops like above here or something. It'd be sick if this candle inverses it. I don't think it will, but there's 14 seconds left on this. Is this a new 5? Yeah, this is a new 5. There is liquidity here actually. I may close it here. I just noticed that. I think I'll break even right now because I don't really like how price is reacting like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna break even. If this does break even, then I just have to call it a day. There's not much for me to do here. I am looking at potential entry though. Looking to scale in some positions here. If it doesn't hit my break even. Yeah, we already know that inversed. It's a ridiculously small gap. And from here to here, how many do we have? Alright, so I got in on that. Let's put our stops above here. Let's go ahead and put our stops above here. Where is the TB is basically on this low. Yes, I'm looking to get out right here. I got in a little bit later. I got in like right here. And then these stops I could actually move to here. So I move pretty much all my stops to above this point here. Even from this position. Yeah, I don't like that it reacted like that. If it would have closed below, that would have been huge, but it just didn't. Maybe I should have waited for that closure. Okay, so it looks like I got stopped out. Yeah, I did. Okay. I mean, either way, I think it's probably gonna go to break even at this point. I was breaking this high. It's not really ideal for us. I lost on this trade. Let's see how much I lost. Let me calculate it. I did say like. That's why I knew that should have been my TV shit. That the same shit because like the same situation happened yesterday. I was 0.4% on that trade. I'm okay with it. 821. On my other account, I lost a little bit more, but basically the same. It's 0.5 on my other account. So that means that we're only up. Let me see. .4. We're only up 0.7% on the day. That is so sad. I'm pretty sure this is just gonna drive up to my break-even points now. After it did all that. Yeah, that's sad, dude. I should have. I think I need to keep this in mind because literally yesterday was the same exact situation. So maybe I could adjust my TPs a little bit. That's the issue, right? About like scaling in positions. So literally yesterday, the same exact situation happened. There was this big gap. My TPs were above here, but there was this big gap, and I could have just closed it, like in the middle of the gap, basically, right? Because usually price fills in the middle of it. So I could have just closed it in the middle, but instead I was like, oh yeah, it's just gonna inverse it. Same exact situation happened here, where I'm like, price is probably just gonna come down and take these lows. But I guess it kind of depends on how it reacts off of this candle, off of this gap. If I would have just put it on halfway through, I would have easily taken my profits on a 2-to-1 there. So yeah, it just sucks because like now, like moving my stops to here, it makes sense. Like even though we inverse this gap, I think this trade was still okay. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but I think I should have just taken my profits here. Taking my profits here and then just pretty much just called it a day. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Like if let's say, for example, I'm expecting price to come down to here, or like maybe even down here. I gotta keep in mind that there's a gap here. So yeah, see, like it would have hit our break even, because we were at break even at this point. I mean, there is a gap here. I don't know if this is gonna protect it, but that is such an interesting candle. Holy crap! Bruh. This kind of makes me want to get in here, bruh. Get all up in here. Just take my profits down here. Or maybe even down here, actually. Because this gap was already used. It depends. If this candle... the next candle engulfs this candle, I'll go in. But if not, I should probably stay out of this. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I think, like, I'm starting to notice this as well. This is another thing. Yeah, I'm gonna get off the charts. I have to just call it a day. There's no way I could look for entries because I don't know where price is gonna go now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But something that I've noticed as well is, like, you know, obviously as price is playing out on our way, price is making, you know, gaps. Dude, if this candle inverts this gap, that's usually not a good sign. You would probably want to risk manage properly there. So I think, like, overall this entry here was kind of stupid by me because we inverse this gap. If we wouldn't have inverse this gap, if, like, let's say this reaction would have happened down here, then it would have made it a little bit more sense. Like, if this candle stayed down here and then this other candle, and then, like, it made a gap here and then we inverse that gap, then I could take that trade. Yeah, I think it was a good day today. I think same situation as last time. I might have to write that down because literally it's happened back to back. I took this trade and it was playing out beautifully, and then we got to this gap and I was expecting price to just inverse that gap and keep driving up, but it didn't. Like, I literally said it prior to taking the trade. I was like, okay, I'll probably take my profits here. It kind of depends on how it reacts off of this gap. I literally said it prior to taking the trade, right? And as soon as I saw this reaction, so, like, not this candle, like, because I don't really care about this candle too much. This doesn't do much to me. But this candle where it inverses a gap, it's a huge upside candle. Like, that's giving you a signal that, hey, price is probably gonna start reversing now. You might want to get out. So I think instead of, like, me kind of going through that and me just kind of, like, almost like gambling whether or not this is gonna get inversed or not, I think I should just play it safe and take my profits halfway, you know, whatever the halfway point on that gap is. Yeah, I mean, it's shitty because, like, we had the potential to have a really good trading day if I would have just gone in with more risk here. But it was, you know, it was news, so I was a bit scared that you know, that it wasn't gonna play out. That's it. That's all. Because I don't really see any other positions, because I don't know what price wants to do now. We just grabbed liquidity up here, and there is a gap here. But, like, that's pretty big stops, no? Let's see how it reacts off of this. I'm curious. Like, if it goes up and breaks these highs, I'm calling it a day. But if it goes down and reverses this gap, that's a potential entry. Okay. So yeah, if we break these highs, I'm just calling it. Because I don't know what price wants to do at that point. I mean, right now I'm like, okay, price just took liquidity here. We're probably going to start hunting down maybe here or even here. Or even here. I would say I'll probably put my TVs like here. Depends on this candle. Pretty much, because like if this candle comes down and breaks these lows, it'll probably drive down to inversus gap. It is also the last 1 minute of the 30-minute candle. Okay, we haven't broken the highs yet. It would be good if we come down, man, and just break here, because then we have a break of structure on the 1 plus an inverse gap. Wow, dude, we literally could have cashed that whole thing. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna call it a day. Okay, it is what it is, you know. At least we did the proper play of moving these stops down to here. We secure some profit and we will mitigate a bit of this loss, because I did add out of broke even. I just added 1 lot, but instead I added 2 lots on this, so I lost a little bit on this. Whatever, it is what it is. I messed up, and I'm learning that I have to be careful with these gaps, because same situation happened here. I could have just taken profits here, and I would have secured like 3% in this trade. Same situation here. I could have secured like another percent or so if I would have just literally have done that. Let me just type this out so I could take a screenshot. Let's just close everything out. I'm just deleting some of these lines because shit's confusing. Okay, see this. There. Okay, that's our entries. Perfect. All right, boys. Well, that's pretty much it for today. It's again, it does suck because I would have been able to secure pretty much like 2%, right about 2%. Um, yeah, I think lesson learned between yesterday and today is that I have to be very careful with gaps that are blocking me from my original TP idea, and that instead of like going for my original TP idea, I should just go for the safest play instead of gambling whether or not price is gonna actually inverse this gap. Because if I would have gone for the safe place here, I would have taken my profits. Same situation here. If I would have gone for the safest play, which is halfway through the gap, I would have taken my profits there. So, just is what it is. Overall, good. Like, it was good. Like, today was good. I acknowledged that, hey, price came up, took liquidity on London highs, then came back down, took liquidity on the London lows. I was expecting price to go back up and grab some more liquidity up there, and it did exactly that. And once it grabbed that liquidity, I was expecting price to go down, and it did exactly that. So now I'm in a situation where it doesn't make much sense for me to take trades because I don't really know what price is gonna do, since we already took liquidity here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'll call it a day. Tomorrow's a new day. I have to, something that I need to learn is patience, and I have to be okay with having low winning days, having, out days in general. Today was an L that, like, I still made, I think it's, let's check it out and see how much. I think it was 6 point something percent on my 10K. Point something percentage. So it's these three trades here. Yeah, I mean, probably like 0.8%, or yeah, around there. So 72. Okay, let's just do 117 plus 32 minus 72. Oops. Yeah, like 0.8%. Not too shabs. It is what it is. Slowly but surely, we're getting back to break even, which is really awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think, like, lessons learned from today was there's actually probably two things I could have improved on. One was my TP. I should have played it safer, right? I should just play the safe TP no matter what, because I don't want to gamble the idea of price either inversing or reacting off of this gap, right? Second thing is, since we took this W originally, I could have maybe gone in with a little bit more risk here, and I would have, if that would have been the case, I would have probably just played it safer, because here I would have made like 2%, I think. That would have been 3% of the day, and I'm okay with that, So that's another thing. I could have probably gone a little bit more risky on this trading idea, because either that, or I could have scaled in positions here. Like, as soon as we inverse this gap right here. The issue with that, though, was that, like, stops would have had to been above here, like, to actually make sense. I would have probably put them here, but these stops don't make too much sense compared to the ones up here, obviously. But yeah. Anyways, that was some lessons learned today, at least, even though we didn't make that much profit. Still learned a lot, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in another one. Boop.